We drive a lot of Porsches here in the Audrain Museum Network, but that's not a reason that you shouldn't be a subscriber if you're not a Porschephile. Do it anyway. Hit that button right now. And if you are a Porschephile, why aren't you a subscriber? Come on, make it happen. It's no wonder that the 964 has become the quintessential near modern 911, because especially for me, it has the form still of the original 901 car. You can really see where it comes from. Today's cars are sort of modeled on the 901, but this really shows where it started. And it still has that original DNA of the cars. And also, of course, at this period of time, when it's so cleaned up from the rubber bumper period and extra chrome headlight rings and all those things, it really is very clean and essential. And I absolutely love that about these cars. The original Porsche 911 RS was never sold new in the US. And so when Porsche decided to make a sort of more performance-oriented version of the new 964 Carrera 2, they thought they'd revive the name and, as opposed to the early days, make it homologated for both Europe and the United States. So the ones that were built for the United States market were named the RS America. And just about 700 of these cars were built. And Porsche went through some very thorough efforts to lighten the weight of the car to make them more essential. And some of those are really easy to see, like for instance this car has no back seats and the door panels are very plain without armrests, and instead of handles there are poles. Those are just the sort of big things, but there's other things. For instance, this car has no power steering, and that's sort of interesting because the 959 was all about technology and adding things to the car, and with this, the RS America, it was about taking away some of the things that had been added. And it's very interesting because it stated that the RS America is 80 pounds lighter than the Carrera 2 on which it's based. And can I feel those 80 pounds? 80 pounds is not an inconsiderable amount, but it's also not 200 pounds. It still feels very substantial the way 964s do compared to their predecessors, which have a much lighter feel. But it certainly does feel, well, I guess the lightness is somewhat balanced and tempered by the added weight in the steering because of the lack of power steering, which I think is a nice trade-off, quite frankly. If you have to carry less weight around and you can do it in a way that the steering is much more direct, then more power to us. Also very interesting about the steering is the fact that in the classic way of manual hydraulic steering, it also lightens up nicely the faster you go. It's rather heavy when you're at very low speeds or parking speeds, although I can't imagine there are lots of people that were parallel parking their 964 Porsches. But nonetheless, it gives you a great steering feel through the wheel. And of course, it just feels like a Porsche. There's a very good reason why the 964 is not only beloved by so many Porsche owners, but also by so many people who modify Porsches, because it's a great base for what it is that they have to do to bring more performance and more Porsche-ness to a Porsche. This example is finished in the classic Guards Red, and it's got aftermarket BBS wheels. which are really neat wheels. Although I do like the standard wheels as well, which are very 959 inspired. And I love the 959. It's one of my favorite Porsches of all time. Probably equaled only by the brand new Dakar. It's very interesting too that this is a very powerful engine, but it doesn't produce most of its power by being a particularly revvy engine. It's got lots of torque, which is quite wonderful to exploit. And you can really dig deep to make use of it. And like most Porsches of this type, the handling on turns is best exploited by getting up a good head of steam, and before a turn, giving it good brakes to make the nose come down, and then turning in with all the bite that you need. It's really a satisfying car to drive, though I think that all the 964s are. And the particular blend of solidity and yet sort of active feel about it gives you a great deal of confidence while you're driving a car like this. It's also one of those things, this is a 1993, and 1993 was quite a while ago now, but it still feels completely modern. It's not one of these cars you can live with every day, day in, day out. They have the performance of much more exotic cars with the incredible usability of any everyday grocery getter. And that's what's endeared these cars to so many people around the world, and especially here in the US, where our practical side comes out. And these are the kinds of Porsches that people didn't buy not to drive. The example I'm driving right now has got nearly 40,000 miles on it, and more is the better for it. If this had been one of those cars that was parked when new and had delivery miles on it, it would be such an incredibly sad thing, because obviously no one will have enjoyed it. And I'm glad that people have enjoyed this car, and I'm glad that I'm enjoying it now. Porsche has been great at marketing specials, and this is very much more than a marketing special. Before I got to know this car, I wondered about that, but the proof is in the driving. And whether it's 80 pounds, 8 pounds, or 800 pounds, it's a very satisfying drive indeed. And, I might add, at quite the fraction of the cost of the original Carrera. It's a great car.